Hello there, soulmates. So this is the outcome of the sketch that we're about to make in this class. If this looks like what you want to know how it is done, please kindly stay tuned to the end of this video so that you will get the best part of it. Isn't it beautiful? So let's get right into it. So here I have my paper which I'm going to use to draft the sketch. The front and the back is going to be on the same part, so I'm going to keep 2 inches allowance at the start of the paper, like you've seen me mark 2 inches. The ruler is just 2 inches, so I used it to mark the 2 inches. Now my first measurement is going to be starting from the 2 inches. First of all, I'm going to get the the vertical measurements, and for the band, I kept 1 inch away from with the tape. So I'll mark my waist to hip measurement. I'll mark my waist to knee measurement and waist to the full length of the skirt that we're about to make. You can see that I kept 1 inch of the tape out of the measurement. That is to get the band. Okay, so now we have the horizontal measurement of the skirt. The waist I'm working with is 30 inches. Now for the hip, I'm going to minus 1 inch. When I divide my hip into four, I'm going to minus 1 inch from it. That 1 inch, I'll add it to the back measurement. Okay, so instead of having 10.5 for the front, I'm going to be marking 9.5. And for the front, my measurement begins from the 2 inches that I marked away. Okay, so I'm going to connect the horizontal lines this way, and I'll be connecting my hip to waist length. So I'll turn over like so and connect to my hip to knee length. All right. Now at the knee, I minus 1.5 inches from my actual measurement. Okay, so instead of marking 9.5, I'll mark 9 inches because the actual hip measurement is 10.5. Then I'll connect the same thing straight to the length of the skirt. I hope you're following those instructions. All right. So once that is done, our front measurement is done. Okay, so I'm connecting from the hip, from the waist knee line rather to the length of the skirt. All right, and this I'm also trying to highlight the lines that I've already marked before. That is the CF line for the front part of the skirt. Now I'm going to come down by 0.75 in order to slant the front of the skirt so that it reduces the smile lines. Now I'm going to extend the measurement to the 2 inches that I marked before. This is the back side where we're going to be having the back extension. So remember we removed 1 inch from the front. I'm going to be adding this 1 inch back. So when I divide my hip into four, it's going to give me 10.5. I will add the 1 inch that I removed and it's going to be 11.5. So we have 2 inches extra at the back. I hope this makes sense to you. Okay, just follow the instructions and you're going to get it right. So from the waist length like this, I'm going to connect to the extension as you can see. Now at the CB, I'm going to raise that back slant by 0.25 or zero point 0.5. Okay, that is just the right thing to do. I will not keep it the way it is. That will connect to the 11.5 at the back extension. Okay. So this is very important. What we have there is 2 inches. So what we're trying to do is I will get in the back and front in the same parts of the paper. Now I'm going to mark my dart intake using my bust span, and I will do the length of the dart by 6 inches, 6 inches, and then I will mark zero point 0.5 on both sides, zero point 0.5 on both sides, which is going to be 1 inch for the dart intake, and then I'll connect it to the 6 inches that I marked as the length of the dart. Okay, so please, if you want to get this, try and follow the instructions and also follow the markings, and you are going to get it. All right. Now for this start intake, I'm going to add it back, but in this time I'm adding it back to the back side, but I'm still going to remove it. So it's advisable that you add it to the side of your skirt, but whichever way you add it is still fine. But I'm going to remove it from this part that I kept it now, so that the back will not just look straight after other alterations that I'm about to make. Okay, so like the skirts came out beautiful, and just follow the instructions and you're going to see how beautiful yours is going to come out. So this is the back side that we're still working on. Now I'm connecting my measurement to the knee length. As you can see, that is the knee line, and I'm connecting to that hip line, the hip extension, and we're just going to cut it like so. So like this, we are done with the skirt, the first part of the skirt. And of course you can just cut your skirt, fold the back this way in order to cut the front. Once you're done cutting the front, you can now open it up and cut the back. It is simple, this simple. But remember to use this method when you have a large back side, like when the back is protruding. Okay, if the back is not protruding, please, this might not work for you. So I'm going to do the second method, which is the one that I used in the skirt. So instead of having 2 inches at the back, I'm going to share it 1 inch to the side and 1 inch to the CB, to the back. The CB is the back. Okay, so here I will mark 1 inch extra and 1 inch extra. That is the 2 inches that I have divided in two places. So when I take the measurements now, it's going to give me the same thing, like um my hip 42 divided by 2. That is what I'm trying to measure here, and it will give me the same thing that I need to have. Okay, so I'm going to connect it like this. What this means is that if you do not have a large back side, you just have to share it between the CB and the side of the skirt, so that it balances up very well. Okay, so I'll reconnect my lines and join it to the waist circumference. Now the extension that we'll also have, which is the dart extension, we're still going to reconnect it. But like I said before, I will remove it from where it is and add to the side when I'm done with this alteration. Okay, so I'll reconnect the new line like this for the side, and I'll also extend it to the knee side. Okay, now still at the CB, we're squarely going to reconnect the lines that we have to meet up with the new 1 inch, and then we're going to cut off the parts that we no longer need, the extra 1 inch that we no longer need. I hope this makes sense to you. Now I'm going to connect to my knee line. But at this knee line, I added extra half an inch because I wanted the down to be free on me. Now, if you want the skirt, the lower part to be really penciled, Please do not add extra half an inch to your knee circumference. The 1.5 inch that we minus is just perfect to tighten the knee area. Okay, so like I said, if you do not want it to be totally free, do not add the extra half an inch as you see me do. Just connect it to the actual measurements that I've marked before. Okay, this half an inch is going to add to the freeness of the lower part of the knee part. And remember, it's going to have slits at the back. So even if it's fitted, you're still going to walk freely with it. But I just wanted it to be more freer. So it depends on your choice. Okay, I know why I say a lot of this, because this is more of principle than just following the style or the design. Whenever you're doing something, you need to understand the reason why you have to do what you are doing. I hope this makes sense to you. So, like before, when you want to cut the front, you fold it over this way, and also the side, we're still going to fold it over. Okay, this is just how it's gonna be. So beautiful. And of course, this minimizes waste of pattern papers when you are drafting. Okay, you just fold the back over and then cut the front and open it up again. So I'm doing this so that you can actually see that it's possible to fold it over, cut the front, and then open it up to cut on the back side. All right, I hope this makes sense to you. Please, if it does and you've watched to this extent, kindly give this video a thumbs up, like it, share it, and subscribe to this channel. Okay, so we're still making progress, and I believe you're getting value for your time that you've spent watching this. So I'm now going to transfer this dart intake extension to the sides of the skirt so that the back will remain slanted. Oh, I actually did transfer it. So I'm cutting the front first, and you know that the front does not have dart intake. So the reason I'm folding everything together with the dart, the front does not have any dart intake. The dart is just for the back. So I've cut the front. I'll then open up all the lines that I folded in order to cut the back. Okay, in order to cut the back, I'm going to open up every other thing that I have folded. So I'll remove the front now and lay it on the back. So you can see that I've removed that dart and added it to the side of the back. Okay, so that is what I was saying before, and you too can do the same thing. So I've cut the fabric and the lining. I've equally cut the front lining as well. So all I'm going to do now is to join it side by side. I'm joining the fabric together. I'm joining the lining separate, and then I will attach it at the hem line. Okay, just the way you've seen me do. I've joined the sides of the lining separate, the sides of the fabric, fashion fabric separate, and then I put them together at the hem of them. Right, so this is to have a very neat finishing. Now I'm going to turn it over to close the sides. I'll close the sides before joining my zipper to it. Closing the sides is just the rough side of the lining and the main fabric, right? So I'll put them together where they meet up and use 0.2 inches. You don't have to use 1 inch to close the sides, the rough edges. 0.25 0.25 is what I will use to join this together, because I'm still going to use the allowance to put the zipper and then the closing of the back. I hope you're understanding what we're actually doing. Okay, so In case you've not made a skirt before, I think this is easy for you to try it out, right? The measurements are not difficult to take. And of course, if you follow this pattern, you're just going to do something wonderful. So don't join in, and this is the outcome. You can see the sides. This is where the slit is going to be. So if you have it this way, it's just as neat as possible. Now the next thing, which is more like the final thing we're going to be doing, is to join our zipper. Okay, so I'm going to mark out where the length of the zipper is going to stop. I'll mark out the length of the slit that we're going to be having at the back. Okay, so I will use the zipper to mark out the length of the zipper opening. It's just going to be on top of the iron on the zipper, like just before the iron. I'll mark the zipper opening. Then from the hem of the skirt, I'm going to measure 21 inches. Okay, I'm going to measure 21 inches to wherever it stops. That is where the slit of the skirt is going to be. I mean, this is what I usually do, and it works out. In case you're wondering, how do you know the length of the slit that you're going to have? So from the hem, I measure 21 inches depending on the person's size. If the person is shorter, I can take 20 inches. If the person wants the slit to be really high, I can take 22 inches. Okay, so like I did before, I'm just redoing this so that you actually understand what we did. Like I said, 21 inches from the lower parts. And once I fix the zipper, the next thing I'll do is to fix the band which was cut on a straight line, and we are done. Thank you for watching. Bye.